Driving with assist can make a racing experience more enjoyable, but to truly go faster, there is only one you must learn to drive without. Today, we're looking at manual gears. Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well today. My name is PJ and today I'll show you how to drive with manual gears in F1 2020. We'll be covering how they work, how you learn, and some advanced techniques along the way. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to get good at racing games, I have several guides available. You can subscribe to check them out, but for now, let's get started. Every racing engine has a certain rev range where it produces optimum performance, delivering as much power and torque to the wheels as possible, and staying within this range is the key to great lap times. In order to keep the engine revving in this optimum window, most racing cars use a system of gears to control this. If the revs are too high, the driver will shift up, and if the revs are too low, the driver will shift down. In F1 2020, you can choose to have the game shift automatically for you, or take control yourself and change gears whenever you like. Depending on the circuit, a driver will change gears up to 70 times per lap, which is a lot to think about when you have to accelerate, brake, turn, battle other drivers, and more. It can be tempting to leave your gears on automatic and not worry about this, however doing so will impact your performance. This is because the game will generally lean towards the conservative side when managing gear changes, often shifting up or down too early and not using the full performance range of the engine. By changing gears manually, you unlock the full potential of the engine, while also having the opportunity to use more advanced techniques. Before that, however, let's start with the basics. Upshifting is generally the easiest thing to understand when using manual gears. As you accelerate, keep an eye on your display and pay attention to what you hear. The engine noise will increase in pitch as you rise through the revs, and eventually your display will light up with different colours. When you reach the end of the red lights, change up to the next gear. If you're having trouble identifying the right time to change up a gear, there is a handy audio option you can turn on. You'll hear it beep when it's time to shift. In some scenarios, however, you may want to stay in a certain gear instead of shifting up, such as when you're mid-corner. Formula 1 cars tend to turn better in lower gears, so taking a corner in high third may end up more useful than taking it in low fourth, for example. If you shift too late, you will eventually stop going faster. The car can only reach a certain top speed in each gear. This also damages the engine, something to consider when playing in my team or career. If you shift too early, the engine will have very low revs in the next gear. This limits how much power is delivered to the rear wheels, and in most cases you want to avoid this. However, it does open up an advanced and very useful technique. Short shifting is the act of deliberately upshifting early in order to limit how quickly the rear wheels will spin. This is exceptionally useful in low grip situations like when exiting a slow corner, driving on cold tires, or racing in the rain. Also, if you sense the car is about to slide, shifting up immediately can help catch the slide before you lose control. As you begin to accelerate, focus on shifting up before any of the lights come on the display. The engine will also sound different to when you shift normally, with a lower tone. Some cars display the rev lights differently to others, but after trying this for a while, you'll get a sense for how early to change. Naturally, however, what comes up must come down. So let's shift gears in the other direction now. Downshifting works in a similar fashion to upshifting, only in the opposite direction. When the revs are dropping, you will want to shift down to the next gear in order to bring the revs back into the ideal range again. If you shift down too late, you will gently slow the car down. However, in Formula 1 you want to reduce speed as quickly as possible, so fast downshifting is important in heavy braking zones. If you shift down too early, the engine will over-rev. This can cause significant damage if done too often or too quickly. However, shifting down relatively quickly opens up another important technique you will want to master. Engine braking is the process of rapidly downshifting, stressing the engine so much that you force it to slow down. This, combined with the brakes and downforce, makes a Formula 1 car come to a complete stop in a very short distance, and is the reason they can brake so late into corners. Engine braking also reduces stability at the rear of the car due to all of the forces being placed on the rear wheels. In some corners this can be very useful as it helps you turn into the corner more, but overdo it and you'll spin out of control. The ideal way to handle downshifting is to establish a solid rhythm, and that starts by keeping count. When you're first learning to drive with manual gears, it can be tempting to keep your eye on the display all the time so that you nail your shift points, but you'll soon realise that doing that while driving is a significant challenge. That is why you need to learn how to shift without looking. As mentioned previously, the engine noise will change as you go through the gears, and over time you will get a feel for how the engine should sound when it's time to shift. Once you understand this, shifting without looking will be easy. The second part of this equation is to keep track of what gear you're in, and what gear you plan to be in when you slow down. What I like to do when driving is keep a count in my head. This also helps me set my rhythm when I'm downshifting. A typical straight and corner might sound like 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 and hold for the turn. A quick glance of the display when on the straights helps me keep my count in check, but in most scenarios I can drive without looking at the display at all, and in some games I disable it entirely. Now that you know how to drive a car with manual gears, put those skills to the test by learning how to drive without traction control, or combine both skills to drive in the wet. You'll find videos for both on the screen now. In the meantime, subscribe for future videos, thanks for watching and good luck on track. I'll catch you all again soon, farewell.